wanted to start a business but feel overwhelmed, broke, or you don't know where to start, this is the video for you. I started my small business with no fancy equipment, no viral video, and no business background, and I'm gonna tell you what actually mattered. My name's Aussie, I run a small jewelry business, and here's what I wish somebody had told me when I started. Okay, step by step, literally from the ground up, how to start your small business. Let's get into it. The first thing you need to decide is what you're actually gonna sell. And this is where a lot of people overthink and get into their heads about it. My biggest tip is to pick something that you already know how to make and you can make over and over again. If you love it but hate repeating it, you will get burnt out very quickly. Think to yourself, can I make this repeatedly? Can I make this without burning out? And can I price it so that it's worth my time? When I started, I realized that loving making something isn't enough for a small business. You need to be able to keep making it consistently without burning out. Some of the most common small business startups that I see are art stickers and print, crochet plushies and clothes, and of course handmade beaded jewelry, which is where I fall into. You don't need to come up with something completely original, you just need to put your own spin and your own style onto it. Once you've locked down what sort of item you're going to be making or what hobby you're going to turn into your small business, here's the biggest tip. Start simple. Extremely detailed and time-consuming items are harder to sell near the beginning. You can always expand later, but your first item should be easy to repeat, easy to ship, and easy to explain. For example, if you're going to start with handmade beaded jewelry like me, maybe start with phone charms or keychains or something that's just a little bit smaller, uses less beads, and is easier to repeat and create a lot of stock quickly. Don't get me wrong, super complicated items can become very successful small businesses for sure. It's just harder at the beginning to kind of take off with super detailed, complex, time-consuming items. Part 2, getting your business onto social media. On social media, people buy the general vibe and branding of your small business first. Here, I'm gonna help you create the most aesthetic and cute branding for your business on social media, and also teach you how to use social media as a testing ground. First step is to pick your platform, and I still suggest Instagram as the best app to start your small business. This is because it's very visual and discovery-based, and I found a huge community of small business owners on there, which you could join as well. Okay, now for creating your brand identity. This is super important, okay? You're gonna want to curate a vibe and an aesthetic for your small business on your page. Pick your favorite 2 to 3 colors. For me, that was green, is my ultimate favorite color. And so here's my logo for my small business. It's green and brown and white. And in general, my sort of feed and aesthetic is very naturey and plant-based. You're gonna want to pick a main color, whether that's blue, purple, green, pink, and create your logo in that color scheme as well as your post. In addition to that, you can decide on an aesthetic, whether you want to go for like a celestial moon and star theme for your logo, or something super cozy and cute like a little bear or a little bunny, or if you want to do something super clean and minimal, just black and white. And once you've picked this out, consistency is key, okay? Consistency over perfection. Even if you decide to revamp kind of the aesthetic that you go for later in a few years, that's totally fine. But if you're more consistent with what your posts look like, what your aesthetic is, then you become more recognizable more easily, which helps you build up your brand, so that when people are scrolling and they see your post pop up, they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that one. That's not to say that all of your items have to be exactly within your brand's color scheme, not at all. When you make story posts, or if you're announcing a sale or a new drop, if you stay consistent, it really makes you feel more clean and professional. Now that you have decided what vibe you want to go for, time to put it into play with your name and your profile basics. When you name your small business, you want to include a little bit about what you do or the fact that you're a small business in the name. So if you create jewelry or crochet, you could put that in the name. Like my small business is literally called Aussie's Jewelry. I was not very creative with mine. If you're thinking that you might expand past the initial item that you're starting with in the future, you could use something more broad like studios or handmade. Now that you have your name, you're going to want to make a cute logo, and I started with my very first logo just being from Canva. So you can start there. They have a lot of cute logo templates, or you can draw up your own. The more recent one that I switched to is a little clover with my face in the middle, and that I drew myself on Procreate. And then you're going to want to set that as your profile picture on Instagram. Next is your bio, and you can have a lot of fun with this and make it super cute. I like to add emojis and sparkles to mine. Just make sure it has the most essential information of what you sell and where people can buy it. And if you're not quite selling things just yet, which I'm actually about to get into in the next section, which is using social media as a testing tool, you can just have your bio be like what you do, where you're from, something cute. And another aspect of your account that I personally find important is being consistent with the background of your product pictures. So even if you're not selling yet, when you're posting photos of your items, if you have the same background for all of them, like a clean wooden background or just a white sheet of paper or just something that's consistent, it just looks nicer and more professional. Okay, so now you have your profile set up. So cute, so aesthetic. Congratulations, you have already started to create your small business. Now you just need to know how to use social media as a testing tool. Now, what I mean by this is you do not have to sell your products right away. You can start by just observing and building community on social media. Feel free to start by posting process videos, photos of your work, prototypes, different ideas that you're having, and then also engaging with other fellow creators in your niche. So I like to support and follow a lot of other small business owners, especially those in the jewelry field. I feel a lot of inspiration by seeing what others are doing, and they're all so creative and so sweet. Like, we all comment on each other's posts, hype each other up, so you can definitely start building a community that way. Find other people in your niche and follow them and support them. Now this way you haven't actually started selling your products yet, you're just posting and building a community online, gaining followers, and you're also gaining feedback on your items and what is doing well. So you want to check out comments, see what people are commenting on and finding interesting or cute or saying that they like. You want to check out your DMs, see if you have any people directly messaging you and asking you, is this for sale? And of course, likes and saves on certain posts. And this is how you can easily find out what is going to sell well when you start your business. What items that you're posting photos of are people interacting with most and liking the most. It's just like a free way to try out the market, see what's doing well. And if you're also interacting with other small businesses on there, it leads to more recognition with your name, everything feeling less isolating and less scary when you get started out at first. And it also often leads to mutual friends and mutual support. I posted some headphone keychains back in December of 2025 that blew up. They got over 700,000 views and over 30,000 likes. By far the most that I've ever gotten on a post. And the worst part is, I didn't even have them in stock. They had sold out at a market. They are in stock now. If you're interested in getting them, they are available on my website. That's just a lesson that as a small business owner, you never know what's gonna do well. Now, how to actually start selling your items. The biggest hoop that you need to get over here is how to ship your items. Now, I see a lot of small businesses start with selling through DMs, so they'll just put in their bio, DM for purchase, and then people message them and they either get paid through PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, or something like that, and then they ship the items their way. Now, this can be very simple, but unfortunately, you do have to create the packaging label and do all of the shipping yourself, so I prefer a different platform. I ship my giveaway items completely on my own, and trust me, at least if you use USPS, here in the US, it takes a while to put in all the information and print it out yourself. And that way you're doing the shipping math yourself and you don't actually know how much it's going to cost to ship to their place until you put it into USPS's calculator. So you could over or undercharge how much it's going to cost. Quick tip before we move on, at this point you'll be trying to figure out how to best package your items, and it took me a while to figure out how I really wanted to pack my items up. Now, I could do an entire separate video on packing and shipping items, but just super quickly, I use these compostable bubble mailers that I love. And this isn't sponsored or anything, but I do have an Amazon storefront linked in my bio that has these exact compostable bubble mailers along with a lot of other shipping supplies that I use, along with all the supplies that I use to make jewelry, the beads that I get from Amazon, and some items for my cute little desk setup. So while this video isn't sponsored, I do earn a little bit of commission when you buy anything through those links, and I just want to give you guys as many resources as possible to start your own small businesses and to make jewelry if that's what you're interested in. Now, for a very beginner starter business, I do recommend Etsy. Etsy is where I started, and it has some really great benefits to starting small businesses. For example, it's very beginner friendly, it's very easy to get started, and they walk you through everything. Additionally, there's already a built-in audience on Etsy, which is super helpful if you don't have big socials yet. There's already people scrolling on there and looking for handmade goods that might stumble across your shop, and then that's an audience that you wouldn't have had elsewhere. Now, Etsy is really great for starting, but the fees really do add up over time, and it's not where I wanted to stay. Now onto part 5, moving off of Etsy and different website platforms. Now this part is really important because it's very important which website platform you choose to put your small business on, what tools they can provide for you, and how much it costs to maintain that online site can make or break your business. Now, I did a lot of research into website platforms when I first started, and I'm probably gonna make an entire dedicated video on comparing the main 4 competitors, the pros and cons of each, but I wanna keep this part of this video relatively simple. So just to briefly cover, the main 4 aside from Etsy are Squarespace, Shopify, Big Cartel, and Wix. Now, I personally use Big Cartel and I love Big Cartel. I've heard a lot of small businesses get a lot of success on Shopify or Squarespace, and Wix is a little bit of like the older one. They all have different tiers. Most of them have a free tier and then like a platinum and then like a diamond tier or something like that. To briefly go over prices, the lower tier for Squarespace is $25 a month. For Shopify, it's $30 a month. For Big Cartel, it's $15 a month. And for Wix, it's also $30 a month. Now, all of these go down if you pay annually rather than monthly. They all go down by like a couple bucks. But when I was starting out, I personally decided to go with Big Cartel because it's only $15 a month and it's only $12 a month if you do the whole year at once, which is the plan that I'm currently on in case anybody is wondering. That's not to say you can't find success on these other sites. You definitely could. Now, this is important and what I wish I knew sooner. The main benefits of moving off of Etsy and onto these sites, at least for me, include the fact that on Etsy, if somebody's looking at your item and they're like, oh, cute bracelet, and then they scroll down, there's 10 other businesses recommended right under your item with links straight to other shops. So while Etsy does provide a really great built-in audience, they can also pull customers away as well because there's so much other competition on there and you're competing with other shops rather than just having your own space where the customer just sees your personal items. I've really enjoyed having my own store with just my items where I can just display my aesthetic, my stuff. Another benefit is just how customizable they are. All of these website platforms have pre-made templates that are super cute that you can customize to make your own. They are more unique than Etsy. And lastly, I don't know if this differs for the other platforms, but Etsy has fees every single time you make a sale, and Big Cartel doesn't have any fees. So you just pay the flat cost for your website and all of the actual profit throughout the year comes back to you. They don't take any of the profit from actually selling the item. I hope these very basic beginner steps were helpful. I know I didn't cover everything in this video, but I tried to give as many tips and tricks about starting a small business as I could. And keep in mind, even if you're just thinking about starting a small business, that's a sign that you should try. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to start. Subscribe if you're interested in more small business content or jewelry content in general, and comment down below what it is that you sell if you already have a small business or what it is that you're considering selling. Also let me know if you want to see either a deep dive into these different website platforms as a full-length video or a shipping and packaging orders full-length video. Alright, thank you so much and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!